Are you letting somebody else control your first impression? If so, it could be killing your connection. Before you even walk up on stage, your intro can make or break how the audience reacts to you. This is the 5th psychological wedge that I'm covering in this series, and it might be the most preventable mistake speakers make. Psychologists call this the primacy effect, where first impressions determine how your entire talk is received. But here's what's crazy. Most speakers leave their introductions completely to chance, and they let the MC introduce them however they want, potentially destroying their credibility before they even reach the stage. John Medina, author of Brain Rules, states that you've got about 30 seconds before they start asking the question, am I going to pay attention to you or not? So your introduction isn't just a pleasantry, it's literally framing how everything that you say afterward will be received. So what should you do? Hand the MC your bio? No. I'll talk about why in just a second. But first, let's explore what makes a great intro. The difference between a weak intro and a strong one is all about neurological priming. You see, your intro needs to activate your audience's anticipatory reward system. That's a mouthful. This happens when your intro connects the audience's personal interests with your upcoming presentation. In other words, a good intro triggers their dopamine receptors and they get excited. But without these 3 criteria inside your introduction, who knows what's going to end up sounding like? The person introducing you stumbles through your name, mentions something vague or irrelevant about your background, and sends you on stage with 0 momentum and sometimes not even prompting the audience to applaud. All right, guys, listen up. We've been talking a lot about getting your presentations up and running and making sure that you're delivering more effectively. So we brought in a speaker trainer to talk about how you guys can deliver better presentations. He wrote a book on it, on public speaking. So I think he's got some really great information to share with you here. Make sure you put your phones down, pay attention, all right? Don't you guys screwing around, because we spent a lot of money to get this guy out here. And he's gonna, for however long he needs, he's gonna work with you guys. He's been doing this for a long time. He's been doing it for, it's what he does for a living, okay? So pay attention to what he's got, and is there anything else you want me to add? All right, okay, here he is. Yeah. Now compare that to handing them a carefully crafted introduction that positions you perfectly and builds anticipation, which leads me to why you never give the MC your bio. A strong introduction isn't about listing all of your accomplishments. It's a psychological tool that creates anticipation and connection. If you hand somebody just a bio, they're just going to be reading everything on the page, and trust me, after the first 30 seconds, you'll even start to cringe, and the audience will think that you're just really full of yourself because it's just a hit list of bragging points. So what should you do instead? Think of your introduction as the trailer to your presentation. It should make people lean in, not check on their phones. So how do you create an introduction that actually works? 3 parts. Reveal the need and intro the lead so the audience takes heed. Start by identifying why the upcoming presentation is needed or relevant to the reason why they're there. Next, lead. Why is the upcoming speaker, you, the leader on this topic mentioned in the need portion? And then most importantly, give the audience a reason to take heed from the lead. In other words, connect the audience's need to the speaker's presentation. Oh, and one more thing. The last sentence in your intro should always end with instructions to welcome you on stage, with your full name being the final thing spoken by the MC. So altogether, it might sound like this. The ability to speak confidently in front of an audience can be one of the single greatest advantages you have above your competition. But if you're intimidated by getting up and speaking, or you break out into a cold sweat at the thought of an audience staring at you, it can prevent you from taking advantages of opportunities to share your mission at scale. Our next speaker has been on stages and traveled the world for over 37 years, sharing the art of mass communication to executives and entrepreneurs just like you. He's here today to share with you his 5-step methodology for commanding the stage. So the next time you're speaking, you're going to be able to do so with confidence and power. Please help me welcome to the stage the author of the book on public speaking, Topher Morrison. Notice how that intro downplays my accomplishment, but still shares just enough to hopefully build my credibility without sounding desperate. Now, if you can, here are some pro tips on building your intro. If you can get the intro to get the audience to think this person gets my situation, you're going to magnify the connection between you and your audience. It might sound something like this. The ability to speak confidently in front of an audience can be one of the single greatest advantages you have above your competition. But if you're intimidated by getting up and speaking, you can miss out on career advancing opportunities. Our next speaker learned this the hard way, having once lost a potential partnership with Tesla because of a lackluster, nervous pitch. He failed to impress Elon Musk. Since then, he's committed to mastering the art of public speaking, and he's here today to show how an ordinary person can become an extraordinary speaker through his 5-step methodology for commanding the room. Please help me welcome to the stage the author of the book on public speaking, Topher Morrison. What's that? You don't have a triumph over tragedy story to share? No worries. Here's another pro tip. Try including a surprising fact or statistic that challenges what they think they know. This creates what psychologists call cognitive dissonance, a mental itch they'll want you to scratch. Basically, it's that uncomfortable feeling that you get when something you believe is contradicted. For example, the intro could include something like this. Most people use slides in their presentation to reinforce the main points of their talk. But our next speaker thinks that slides should never be used for this reason, and he's here to share with us why. That mental clash could make people sit up and pay attention. And speaking of paying attention, feel free to hit subscribe so your computer will pay attention and let you know the next time I release a professional speaking tip. All right, try these tips and take the time to create your introduction. The MC, your audience, and your reputation is going to thank you. Until next time, let's both try a little harder to be a little better. Thanks for watching my video. If you'd like more presentation tips, check out this video. I think you might like it.